Hello everybody and welcome back to our season finale of the 2008 season here on F1 2014, and it is the championship decider between Hamilton and Massa. It's the Brazilian Grand Prix. Let's get into it. These are the championship standings heading into the season finale. With Hamilton leading Massa by 2 points, it means Massa needs to win the race with Hamilton second or lower. Hamilton, all he needs to do is not get outscored by Massa by 2 points or more, and he's the champion for the first time in his career. Raikkonen can no longer win it. He was eliminated after crashing out in China. In the constructors, there is a slim chance McLaren could still uphold or upheave, is that the word? Ferrari. They're 16 points behind. They need to win a 1-2 finish or a 1-3 finish and ensure Ferrari don't score many points. Yeah, well, we'll be seeing that scene today. Felipe Massa. Well, here we are for qualifying the Brazilian Grand Prix. Such a fantastic venue for Formula 1. Oh boy, look at the rain for the race. It's 100%. It means it's going to be absolutely chucking it down on Sunday, but it is dry here on Saturday for the 2018, what am I saying? Formula 1 Grande Premio Petrobras do Brasil 2008. We're looking to see what Massa and Hamilton can do. Of course, Hamilton 2 points ahead of Massa going into this finale. McLaren still with kind of a chance at the Constructors' Championship, but I highly doubt that. Anyway, soft tyres on the car. Let's get out there for this 15-minute qualifying session. In real life, I know Hamilton went into the season finale with a larger points gap over Felipe Massa than we have in this version of things. But it's still just as dramatic. Maybe we'll see just as dramatic of a season finale as well, just like in real life, where Hamilton won the championship in the final corner on the final lap. Anyway, it's time to focus on Robert Kubica, who has no chance of the championship in qualifying. We already have traffic on our lap. That's Sebastian Bourdais getting in the way. And we're down on Nakajima's time through the first sector. Oh! Well, that's the end of the session. We didn't get much of a chance, did we? This is what happened. We lost it on the exit of turn 4. A light touch of the wall, and my tyre just flew off the car. So we're starting in last place. It's going to be a last two question mark race, I suppose. Last to first, potentially, for the championship deciding race. Well, what an unfortunate start to the weekend. Kimi Raikkonen on pole position and Hamilton is ahead of Massa on the starting grid. Kazuki Nakajima and Nico Rosberg, the two Williams, in the top 5 on the starting grid, with Heikki Kovalainen only in 6th place. Fernando Alonso starts in 7th, alongside Mark Webber, with Vettel and Barrichello on the 5th row of the grid. It's the two Germans of Heidfeld and Suttel sharing row 6. Heidfeld, of course, is Robert Kubica's teammate. And then it's the second Force India of Fisichella in 13th, ahead of Davidson and Piquet Jr. at his home Grand Prix. Very disappointing from the home hero. He's not a home hero, is he? Home favourite. He's not a favourite either. Nelson Piquet Jr. He's just a dude with Jr. on the end of his name. He's in 15th place, ahead of Coulthard, Trulli, Button, Glock, Bourdais, Sato, and Robert Kubica. Once again, having to get special permission from the FIA to start this race after not setting a time in qualifying. Well, it's a wet race. We got the wet tyres on the car, and it's going to be raining the whole entire Grand Prix, which is 36 laps long. It's going to be a one-stop, wet-to-wet tyres, and pitting halfway through the race. So it should be very straightforward on the strategy things, unless there's drama throughout this race. And I imagine there is going to be drama. The championship is on the line, and it's all decided here today. Well, there's only one more thing to do, and that's go racing. The 2008 Brazilian Grand Prix is next. We're not fighting for a championship, of course. We're just hoping to get a good result to finish out the season and to finish out this series, which I have enjoyed a lot, quite honestly. Lights out and away we go. We're just looking for a solid start here. No risk taking in the first corner. There's no point. It's going to be a long race, and I'm sure we're going to have to pace for a good result. So let's take things nice and easy through this first corner. Sato, I don't think he has sent it. It's Button who's sent it there and has lost the front wing on his Honda. So through the second corner we go. We get a massive step of oversteer twice and almost lose the back end, almost crashing into Timo Glock, who's now in second to last place. As down the Retroposta we go for the first time. Button has fallen down to 21st. He is missing a front wing, so we should be able to make a move on him. Somebody else has lost the front wing up ahead as well. So already carnage being caused on this opening lap here in Brazil. We'll keep an eye on where Massa and Hamilton is throughout the race, so you guys are fully aware of the championship picture. As rising up the hill we go in the second sector for the first time. Let's see if we can make some moves. They're all struggling to overtake somebody who's missing a front wing. That's Piquet Jr. at his home Grand Prix, missing a front wing. Disaster for the home driver. He already had a terrible qualifying, and now he's going to have a terrible race. Missing that front wing on the opening lap means he's going to have to box to repair that damage. As we made it up to 19th. Is that Takuma Sato also missing a wing? I believe it is, so maybe that'll be another position before the end of this first lap. Oh my gosh, there's more. there's more absolute carnage up ahead again. Sato, if he wasn't missing a front wing before, he's definitely missing one now. So we're going to make a move on Super Aguri. It's Sebastian Bourdais also missing a front wing. And we squeeze through. Kubica up to 17th place. Could be even higher than that. There's another driver in the pits. That was Nick Heidfeld. And Giancarlo Fisichella slamming on the brakes down the main straight. We may overtake 3, maybe even 4 drivers down this first straight down towards the first corner on the second lap of the race now. Davidson stays out, even though I'm pretty sure he is also missing a front wing. But his teammate Takuma Sato, the first driver in the team, is opting to repair the damage before him, so he has to stay out. We'll move past Davidson, thank you very much, through turn 4. And I think also Adrian Sutter with damage. So that's about 5 or 6 drivers on the opening couple of laps missing parts of their car. No, Sutter does not have damage. I was going to say, he was just pulling away from me in the middle sector. So if he was missing a front wing, that's quite shocking. He's looking to defend the inside line into turn 1 at the start of lap 3. Oh, there's contact there. Kubica not knowing how to drive this early on in the race in these conditions. But he is trying to force his way through on the Force India of Adrian Sutter, who manages to hold on to the place. But down the Retro Posta, the superior straight line speed of the BMW Sauber is going to help him move into 11th place. And after 3 laps completed, it is Lewis Hamilton leading the way ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. Felipe Massa 3rd at his home Grand Prix. I think if it goes to count back, I'll have to check how many wins each driver has. Well, if it goes to count back and Hamilton wins the race, or Massa wins the race, Hamilton finishes 2nd, then they're tied on points. Massa will win the championship. Hamilton's only had 2 victories this season. Massa's had about 6. As we lose a position to Trulli, as I was studying the Excel document to see how many wins each driver had. So we're down to 12th. I don't seem to have much pace in these conditions. Maybe I'm just not used to it yet. Right now, Adrian Sutter is being held up by me. So Kubica missing something, whether that's pace or performance, probably both. And you can already see a massive gap between probably about 9th place in this race and 10th place. That was formed when all that damage was caused on the opening lap. And that's going to be very, very difficult to close because I clearly have no pace in these conditions. Trulli is gaining on the Honda in front, which is Rubens Barrichello in 10th place. So there are 3 Brazilians on the grid today, Massa, Barrichello and Piquet Jr. I think they'll all be cheering for Felipe Massa today though. I think if this was real life and Felipe Massa managed to win the championship instead of Hamilton this year, Hamilton would have been known as a massive bottle job early on in his career. Heading into the championship finale in both 07 and 08, leading the championship and somehow losing the championship. Starting to pull away from Adrian Sutter now, which is good. And still staying close to Trulli, who is now lining up a move on the Honda of Barrichello. Jarno Trulli, the Italian, looks to the outside for turn 1. He's not going to squeeze through there. Barrichello defending the position for now. Brings Robert Kubica right into play, though, for the position. And down the Retro Posta, we'll put it into Rich Mix and see if we can challenge Jarno Trulli into the braking zone of turn 4. He's defending the inside line, which is no use to stop Kubica as there's carbon fibre on the floor. Means probably one of the drivers in the top 9 has sustained some level of damage. Hopefully a whole front wing has disappeared. Look how close we are getting to Barrichello now. There's no way to send it really in this middle sector. I have just given him a rear end tap. Little love tap there for Barrichello. And there is somebody in the pits who did sustain that damage. So let's see who it is as we go across the line. We might also overtake Barrichello. It was Sebastian Vettel with damage. As around the outside of Barrichello through turn 1 goes Kubica, who's putting on an overtaking clinic today. Moves up into 9th place. Now, the gap to Mark Webber in a points-paying 8th position is 6 seconds. Let's see if we can start to close that gap. So I've been running it in lean mix through the middle sector and then rich mix for the straights. And it really helps because on this game, putting it in lean mix limits the revs and halves the wheel spin essentially. So it works quite well. And in a single lap, we've closed from 6 seconds down to 4.7. So we are much quicker than Mark Webber ahead. Jarno Trulli also getting past Rubens Barrichello. So Trulli's inside the top 10 now. He'll be looking to try and close down Kubica, but right now we are much quicker than him per lap. Now that we've sort of got the lean and rich mix sorted out. And that's a purple sector too. That's very good. So we do definitely have the speed here today. It was just about confidence, really. And huge news at the front. Kovalainen has overtaken Felipe Massa. So Kovalainen up to 3rd. Massa down to 4th position. And you can see on the minimap, I think the leader Hamilton going through turn 4. Raikkonen in 2nd, a couple seconds behind him. Kovalainen and Massa about 5 or 6 seconds behind those two. Well, we are within 7/10 of a second of Mark Webber in front. So putting it into rich mix up this main straight. Maybe we can get a run down towards turn 1 That's looking very likely now. We are gaining on Mark Webber, the Australian, thinking about defending inside. No, he leaves the inside wide open, but Kubica does not snatch at the opportunity. Does rear-end him briefly, though. And is that Ferrari coming out of the pits? I think it is. Well, if a Ferrari's coming out of the pits now in 6th place, that's got to be Raikkonen, surely. Maybe they're on a 2-stop strategy today, which is a very strange call. It might work out for them. Still got it in rich mix, just trying to fight through on Mark Webber, maybe on the outside here. Could be an opportunity. I'll stick it down to lean mix for the next corners, and around the outside we go. It is Raikkonen, so Raikkonen boxing on the end of lap 12. That has got to be a 2-stop strategy for the Ferrari team. That might change Felipe Massa's outlook on the championship if he's on a 1-stop. Could explain the gap that was forming between the top 2 and the rest of the grid. And on the following lap, there are more drivers in the pits. Nakajima is one of them, and Massa. Massa is boxing. So now Hamilton leads Kovalainen. It's a McLaren 1-2, and Massa's boxed, and he's fallen all the way down to the back end of the top 8. What are Ferrari doing? It's worked out for Raikkonen because he's rejoined and he's in 4th place. He's ahead of all the traffic. Massa, though, he has to make his way through Mark Webber. He needs to make his way through Jarno Trulli and Robert Kubica to get back up to where he was before the pit stops. So I've just checked. Massa is in 10th place. He's behind Nico Rosberg, who's just boxed. So the Williams of Rosberg, who had a pit stop just like Massa, is in 9th, ahead of the World Championship challenger. But really for Ferrari, it is not the day for silly strategy calls. They had to stick to something simple and give Massa the best chance possible of finishing ahead of Hamilton. And right now they are not doing that. Alonso's up in 3rd place. He's on the same strategy as me, I believe. So he's on a 1-stop. And if he can hold up Raikkonen, he might actually score a podium today, potentially. If you're enjoying the championship finale, make sure to leave a like on the video. Let's see if we can smash 150 likes. And if you've just enjoyed this series, make sure to leave a like as well. And Massa has made some progress since the last update. He's up to 7th place, so he still has to close up to Mark Webber a couple seconds and overtake him. But I imagine Mark Webber alongside Kubica and Alonso ahead have to pit this lap. It is lap 18, halfway through the race. And now into the pits comes Robert Kubica on the end of lap 18 to service the one and only stop in this race for another set of wet tyres. Alonso also in ahead in 4th. And Mark Webber, though, stays out. Webber extending. That's strange. And McLaren are now ready in the pits as well, I believe. So that might be for race leader Hamilton next lap. Unless Hamilton's already boxed and it's Kovalainen in the next lap. We're going to rejoin into this race here in 12th position. So right now we're behind Nick Heidfeld and a couple of the other drivers who had to box really on in the race to repair damage. And that's the situation right now. Hamilton did box on the previous lap. He's rejoined behind Raikkonen. Kovalainen, his teammate, is now into the pits and will rejoin behind the pair of them. Let's see where Massa is. And Massa only up to 4th place. He's behind Kovalainen, who is rejoined in 3rd. Load of drivers into the pits on the end of lap 19 though. We're going to move back up inside the points into 8th place. That's a purple sector too. So Kubica with pace on these fresh wet tyres, trying to close up to Nakajima in front, who is gunning for his first points position of the season. Lewis Hamilton though, a 19.6 on this lap. Let's see what we can get. We get a 19.182, so we are almost half a second quicker than the race leaders at the moment. Should be able to make short work of the Japanese driver in front. Maybe into this right-hander here. No. Like I said when I was trying to overtake Barrichello, it's almost impossible to dive bomb in this middle sector. Here's a much better and easier opportunity. A simple overtake down the main straight on Kazuki Nakajima will elevate Robert Kubica into 7th position. Next up is Nakajima's teammate Rosberg. Both Williams could be in the points at the end of this race, which will be a fantastic way to end the season for a team who has really struggled this year. So the Ferrari drivers pitting on lap 12 and 13. I imagine they'll pit for the second time on lap 24 and 25 to keep things relatively simple for the 2-stop strategy. And that will give them about 12 or 11 laps to close down the McLarens and overtake them. But really, they need to switch positions between the two Ferraris. Just like we see with the McLarens in China when they should have switched positions, give Hamilton the victory ahead of Kovalainen. Here, they need to give Massa the position ahead of Raikkonen. Should be able to overtake Rosberg in the same vein that we overtook his teammate on the previous lap. Here we go, down towards turn 1, Rosberg defending the inside. Around the outside goes Kubica. He's going to lock up and go slightly wide though, almost spinning the car, and that gives the position back to Rosberg. Take 2 of this overtake. I think we're slightly closer this lap. Actually, maybe we're slightly further away. Rosberg with a good run up the hill. He might hold on to this place, although Kubica is still trying around the outside and actually makes it stick this time. So we are up to 6th position. And it's Fernando Alonso, the next driver up ahead. Let's see what the gap is as we go across the timing line. It's 9.8 to the Spaniard in front. That's the objective now. See if we can get top 5 in this race. And that's Raikkonen into the pits on lap 24, like I predicted. He's going to rejoin in 5th place. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get that win today. It means Hamilton now has the race lead. Kovalainen in 2nd and Massa in 3rd position. And we know Massa has to box again. Just a reminder, Massa needs to outscore Hamilton by 2 points here today to win the championship. If they finish level on points, Massa will win the championship. He's got loads more wins than Hamilton this year. And the rain is going to ease up in about 15 minutes. I feel like the race will already be over by that point, so I don't think it's going to affect tyre choice towards the end of this Grand Prix. And now Nakajima in 7th place ahead of Rosberg. I'm not sure if Rosberg maybe pit for the 2nd time. I didn't know if the Williams drivers were on a 2-stop or a 1-stop. And that is Massa in the pits, so he is now down to 5th. We might actually move past Felipe Massa again, and we will. We're going to move into 5th place. So it's now Hamilton, Kovalainen, Alonso 3rd, Raikkonen 4th, followed by Kubica and Felipe Massa in 6th place. Right now we are 5.4 seconds ahead of the Brazilian, so he needs to close down and overtake me, his teammate, Alonso, Kovalainen, and Lewis Hamilton in the next 10 laps. It's not going to happen, is it? Massa's only hope now is Hamilton suffers a crash whilst lapping some of the traffic. Because this track is so small, even on a 50% race distance race, the leaders do lap a lot of cars. You can see in the minimap now, load of drivers bunched up in Sector 2, and that's where Hamilton is right now. I think if we managed a good qualifying, we could have challenged for the win today, just like in so many other races this year. But to finish in a top 5 position after starting last place, I'll be very happy with that. Though Massa is closing quite quick. The gap is now 4.4 seconds to the Brazilian behind. And Alonso in 4th place has now been passed by Kimi Raikkonen. So no longer is it a Renault podium here to finish out the season. In fact, there's a driver in the pits. Is that no, surely that's not Alonso. I think it's one of the back markers boxing. Now it's 10 minutes to the light rain as the gap to Alonso is down to 5.1. We're definitely much quicker than him. I think we'll catch him before the end of the race. And surprisingly, after all the carnage on that opening lap or the opening 2 laps, nobody's actually retired from the race. We still have all 22 drivers running. I was really expecting retirements and safety cars to play a factor in a race like this. Being a championship finale, everybody has everything on the line. One last push to get to the finish line. And of course, heavy rain. I can see Alonso really struggling to get past some of the back markers, which is helping me out. It's one of the Super Aguris in his way. It reminds me of the 2007 Canadian Grand Prix when Alonso was stuck behind a Super Aguri that day. And that wasn't a back marker, that was Takuma Sato finishing ahead of the McLaren of Alonso. Maybe not on pace, but in position. It means the gap is now 2.3 seconds to Fernando Alonso, who has made it past the Super Aguri now. I think he's got a decent chunk of time ahead of him before he reaches another back marker. Oh, Sato, that's such a bad position. Oh, it's horrendous from Takuma Sato, who's really blocked me there. We've lost loads of time. And now he's defending the inside line into Junção. What are you doing? The gap is surely up ahead of 3 seconds now, or north of 3 seconds to Alonso. Yeah, I lost 2 seconds from that. So it's 3.3 to Alonso now. And we do have 5 laps left in this race. Hamilton is just cruising to his first victory in Formula 1 right now. His first victory, should I say. His first championship victory. He's won races before. And you can see Massa now. There's no cars between me and him. And he is just over a second behind. It's 1.3 seconds back to the Brazilian, who might just be lining up a move on Kubica for a top 5 result at his home Grand Prix, trying to salvage something in front of the home crowd. All he needed to do was win the race. If he won the race, it doesn't matter where Hamilton finished, because if Hamilton finished second to Massa's first, it would have been tied on points, and on countback it would have gone to Felipe Massa, but he's not been able to manage that today. And the Williams are down in 12th and 13th place, I've just checked, so no points for Williams today, which is really sad. I really wanted to see Nakajima score points. It's not going to happen. As we set purple sector 2, the pace is still there in the tyres and the car, and we might have a run here on Fernando Alonso down the main straight. We're about to start the penultimate lap of the season. We're getting closer and closer to Alonso. Does Kubica think about a send towards the inside? Well, he thought about it, but Alonso very late on the brakes and just tickling the rear there of the Renault as we set the fastest lap of the race. Now we have a run out towards turn 6. To the inside goes Kubica. It's a very brave move on the inside there, and he makes it stick. It's 4th place. Whoa, Davidson, that was very dangerous. As we start the final lap of the season, Lewis Hamilton in position to clinch his first world title. And Lewis Hamilton wins here in Brazil, and with it, he is world champion of 2008. winning in front of the home crowd of Felipe Massa, who are not going to be too pleased about that. Heikki Kovalainen makes it a McLaren 1-2, but Raikkonen's third place clinches the Constructors for Ferrari. A bittersweet moment for the Scuderia. And across the line goes Robert Kubica, who recovers from a terrible qualifying to finish in 4th place. And there is confirmation of the results. The top 3, McLaren, Ferrari. Robert Kubica in 4th place. Alonso holding off Felipe Massa at the end. Massa 6th. Really poor result from Felipe Massa today. He's finished the season with 2 really bad races. In fact, apart from round 6 and round 16, that's his 3rd worst result of the season for Felipe Massa. His first worst result was last time at China. Heidfeld and Webber in the points as well, so Williams slip out by the end. Glock and Trulli complete the top 10 ahead of Barrichello at his home Grand Prix. Strong result there for the Honda team. At least one of them, with his teammate Button down in 21st place. Both Rosberg and Nakajima falling outside the points and falling outside the top 10 by the end of the race, ahead of Vettel, Piquet Jr., Coulthard, Suttel, Fisichella, Bourdais, Davidson, Button and Sato completing the order. And a final look at the Drivers' Championship to finish out the season. Lewis Hamilton is crowned champion with 114 points, 9 clear of Felipe Massa. The interesting thing to look at here is Hamilton's consistency in podiums. I think he got 12 out of 17 podium finishes and only recorded 3 victories, which is the same as his teammate Heikki Kovalainen, the same as the BMW Sauber of Robert Kubica. Massa, with twice as many wins, yet loses the championship by 9 points. That can be down to inconsistencies between round 4 and round 6, and especially the final 2 rounds of the season where Massa just sort of crumbled. After we made a few changes to the AI and the crash model and all that stuff, we saw more drivers score points. It started with Vettel scoring points in round 9 of the season, and that continued throughout the year with a few different drivers scoring points here and there, but we still only had 15 drivers score points. I was hoping for more by the end. It meant that Force India and Super Aguri never scored points. The closest either of them got was, I think, an 11th place finish for Fisichella at the German Grand Prix. Ferrari, though, almost dropping the ball with the championship with that final round. They only finished 7 points clear of McLaren, who finished the season with 3 1-2 finishes in the final 5 races, which is an incredible run of things. I don't think Ferrari even got that many. They only got 2 1-2 finishes throughout the whole season, so that you can see there the difference. BMW Sauber fighting with one hand behind their back for most of the season. Heidfeld really not pulling his weight, but Kubica doing a fantastic job in the team, especially in that first half of the year, but it sort of faded away in the second half. Well, there we have it, guys. That is the end of this mini-series on F1 2014 using the 2008 season mod. Let me know what you thought about the season down in the comments below. And if you've not already done so, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to join the pit crew, check out YouTube channel memberships. And I'll see you all for another series, another time. Goodbye.